Relationship. A connection or bond between people. Their relationship has been rocky lately. Breakup. The end of a romantic relationship. She's still not over the breakup. Divorce. The legal ending of a marriage. They're going through a messy divorce. Affair. A secret romantic or sexual relationship, often while married to someone else. He found out about her affair from a text message. Engagement. An agreement to get married. They announced their engagement last weekend. Wedding. A marriage ceremony. The wedding is happening in the fall. Funeral. A ceremony held after someone dies. The whole family came together for the funeral. Secret. Something kept hidden from others. She's been keeping a huge secret from him. Lie. A false statement made intentionally. That was a pretty obvious lie. Truth. The actual facts of a situation. I just want to hear the truth for once. Mistake. An error or wrong action. That was a mistake I regret every day. Decision. A choice made after consideration. This is a decision I have to make alone. Opportunity. A chance to do something. This job is a huge opportunity for her. Consequence. A result that follows an action. Every choice has consequences. Excuse. A reason given to justify something, often not fully honest. I'm tired of hearing your excuses. Apology. A statement expressing regret. He owes her a real apology. Forgiveness. The act of forgiving someone. She's not ready to give him forgiveness yet. Betrayal. An act of disloyalty or breaking trust. That felt like a total betrayal. Trust. Belief that someone is reliable or honest. It took years to rebuild trust between them. Loyalty. Faithfulness to someone or something. His loyalty to the family never wavered. Jealousy. Feeling of envy or insecurity over something. Jealousy destroyed their friendship. Envy. Wanting what someone else has. There was a hint of envy in her voice. Guilt. A feeling of having done something wrong. Guilt has been eating at him for weeks. Shame. A painful feeling caused by wrongdoing or failure. He carries a lot of shame about his past. Regret. Sadness over something you did or didn't do. She lives with regret over that decision. Grief. Deep sorrow, especially after a loss. Grief hit her harder than she expected. Heartbreak. Intense emotional pain from loss or rejection. It took months to get over the heartbreak. Closure. A sense of resolution or ending. She needed closure before moving on. Baggage. Unresolved emotional problems from the past informal. He came into the relationship with a lot of baggage. Drama. Exaggerated conflict or emotional situations. I don't have time for this drama. Crisis. A time of intense difficulty or danger. The family is going through a financial crisis. Scandal. An event that causes public outrage or disgrace. The scandal ruined his career. Rumor. Unverified information spread among people. There's a rumor going around the office. Gossip. Casual talk about other people's private lives. She loves spreading gossip. Confrontation. A direct, often tense meeting to address a conflict. He's been avoiding a confrontation with his boss. Argument. A disagreement, often heated. They had a huge argument last night. Conflict. A serious disagreement or struggle. There's a lot of conflict within the family. Tension. A feeling of unease or strain between people. You could feel the tension in the room. Pressure. A feeling of stress caused by demands. She's under a lot of pressure at work. Stress. Mental or emotional strain. The stress is really getting to him. Anxiety. A feeling of worry or unease. She's dealt with anxiety since college. Panic. Sudden overwhelming fear. He was in a panic when he couldn't find his keys. Breakdown. A collapse, physical or emotional. She had a breakdown after the funeral. Burnout. Exhaustion from prolonged stress. He's heading straight for burnout. Meltdown. A sudden emotional collapse informal. She had a total meltdown in the office. Instinct. A natural feeling or reaction without thinking. Trust your instincts on this one. Intuition. A feeling of understanding something without proof. Her intuition told her something was wrong. Gut feeling. A strong instinct about something. I had a gut feeling he was lying. Assumption. Something believed without proof. Don't make assumptions about what happened. Misunderstanding. A failure to understand something correctly. This whole thing is just a misunderstanding. Miscommunication. A failure to communicate clearly. Their breakup was mostly due to miscommunication. Explanation. A statement that makes something clear. He owes her an explanation. Excuse. A reason offered to justify a fault. She didn't buy his excuse. Accusation. A claim that someone has done something wrong. He denied the accusation completely. Evidence. Facts that prove something. There's no evidence to support that claim. Proof. Something that shows something is true. I need proof before I believe you. Investigation. A formal inquiry into something. Police opened an investigation into the incident. Suspect. A person thought to be responsible for a crime. He became the main suspect in the case. Witness. Someone who saw an event happen. She was the only witness to the accident. Alibi. Proof that someone was elsewhere when a crime happened. His alibi didn't check out. Motive. A reason for doing something, especially a crime. Detectives are still looking for a motive. Crime. An illegal act. It was the biggest crime the town had ever seen. Custody. Legal responsibility for a child or being held by police. They're fighting over custody of the kids. Lawsuit. A legal case brought against someone. The company is facing a major lawsuit. Settlement. An agreement that ends a dispute. They reached a settlement out of court. Inheritance. Money or property passed down after death. He spent his entire inheritance in a year. Debt. Money owed to someone. She's drowning in debt. Bankruptcy. A legal state of being unable to pay debts. The business filed for bankruptcy. Promotion. Advancement to a higher position at work. She finally got the promotion she deserved. Layoff. The loss of a job due to company cuts. He's been struggling since the layoff. Resignation. The act of formally quitting a job. Her resignation shocked everyone. Career. A person's long-term professional path. He gave up his career for the family. Ambition. A strong desire to achieve something. Her ambition is what got her this far. Achievement. Something accomplished through effort. Graduating was a huge achievement for him. Failure. A lack of success. He's terrified of failure. Setback. A difficulty that delays progress. This is just a temporary setback. Obstacle. Something that blocks progress. Money was the biggest obstacle in their plan. Challenge. A difficult task or situation. Raising 3 kids alone is a real challenge. Struggle. A hard effort to deal with something difficult. It's been a struggle since he lost his job. Burden. A heavy responsibility or worry. She feels like a burden to her family. Responsibility. A duty to deal with something. Taking care of him became her responsibility. Commitment. A promise or dedication to something. He's not ready for that kind of commitment. Compromise. An agreement where each side gives something up. Marriage is all about compromise. Boundary. A limit that defines acceptable behavior. She finally set some boundaries with her mother. Intervention. An act of stepping in to help or stop something. The family staged an intervention. Addiction. A strong, harmful need for something. He's been battling addiction for years. Recovery. The process of getting better after illness or hardship. She's 3 years into her recovery. Relapse. A return to a previous bad condition. He had a relapse after the stress at work. Trauma. Deep emotional damage from a difficult event. She's still dealing with childhood trauma. Therapy. Treatment for emotional or mental issues. He finally agreed to go to therapy. Diagnosis. Identification of an illness or condition. The diagnosis changed everything for the family. Symptom. A sign that something is wrong, physically or emotionally. Trouble sleeping was just one symptom. Illness. A disease or period of sickness. His illness caught them all off guard. Surgery. A medical operation. She's scheduled for surgery next week. Recovery. Getting back to health after illness or injury. His recovery has been slow but steady. Overdose. Taking a dangerous or fatal amount of a drug. Paramedics arrive just after the overdose. Emergency. A serious, unexpected situation needing immediate action. Call 911. This is an emergency. Accident. An unplanned event, often causing harm. The accident happened right in front of the house. Miracle. An extraordinary, unexpected event. Surviving that crash felt like a miracle. Coincidence. An unplanned matching of events. Running into him there wasn't a coincidence. Twist. An unexpected turn of events. Nobody saw that plot twist coming. Revelation. A surprising fact that's suddenly revealed. That was a huge revelation for everyone. Breakthrough. An important discovery or sudden progress. They finally had a breakthrough in the case. Turning point. A moment when a major change happens. That night was a turning point in their relationship. Milestone. An important stage or event in development. Their first year together was a big milestone. Legacy. Something passed down or left behind after death. He wants to leave a legacy for his kids. Reputation. The general opinion people have of someone. Her reputation was ruined overnight. Image. The way someone is perceived publicly. He's obsessed with his public image. Status. A person's social or professional position. Money changed their social status completely. Privilege. A special right or advantage. He's never had to deal with that kind of privilege. Inequality. Unfair differences between people. The show explores class inequality. Injustice. Unfair treatment. She's dedicated her life to fighting injustice. Discrimination. Unfair treatment based on group membership. He faced discrimination throughout his career. Prejudice. An unfair opinion formed without knowledge. Prejudice ran deep in that town. Stereotype. An oversimplified, fixed idea about a group. The show breaks a lot of stereotypes. Identity. Who a person fundamentally is. She's still figuring out her identity. Self-esteem. Confidence in your own worth. His self-esteem took a hit after the breakup. Confidence. A feeling of self-assurance. Losing that job destroyed his confidence. Pride. A feeling of satisfaction from achievements. He swallowed his pride and apologized. Ego. A person's sense of self-importance. His ego is way too big for this team. Vulnerability. The state of being easily hurt. Opening up requires a lot of vulnerability. Weakness. A flaw or lack of strength. Everyone has a weakness. Strength. The quality of being strong, physically or emotionally. Her strength through all of this is amazing. Flaw. An imperfection or fault. Nobody's perfect, everyone has flaws. Personality. The set of qualities that make up a person's character. He's got such a big personality. Temper. A tendency to become angry quickly. He needs to work on his temper. Mood. A temporary state of mind. She's been in a strange mood all day. Attitude. A way of thinking or feeling about something. I don't like your attitude right now. Perspective. A particular way of viewing things. Try to see it from her perspective. Mindset. A person's established way of thinking. He's got a really negative mindset lately. Priority. Something considered more important than other things. Family is his top priority. Agenda. A plan or hidden motive. I think he has a hidden agenda. Motive. The reason behind someone's actions. What's your real motive here? Intention. A plan or purpose behind an action. My intentions were good, I swear. Expectation. A strong belief about what will happen. He never lives up to her expectations. Assumption. Something taken for granted without proof. That's a dangerous assumption to make. Dilemma. A difficult choice between two options. She's facing a real moral dilemma. Crossroads. A point where an important decision must be made. Their marriage is at a crossroads. Ultimatum. A final demand, with a threat if not met. She gave him an ultimatum. Compromise. A solution where each side gives something up. They finally reached a compromise. Negotiation. Discussion aimed at reaching an agreement. The negotiation lasted for hours. Deal. An agreement, often involving exchange. Let's make a deal. Bargain. An agreement involving mutual concessions. He struck a bargain with the devil, basically. Agreement. A shared decision or understanding. They came to an agreement about custody. Contract. A legally binding agreement. He refused to sign the contract. Partnership. a relationship of cooperation, personal or professional. Their business partnership fell apart. Alliance, a partnership formed for mutual benefit. The two families formed an unlikely alliance. Rivalry, ongoing competition between people. Their rivalry goes back years. Competition, a contest between people or groups. The competition for that job is intense. Revenge, action taken to punish someone for a wrong. He's been planning revenge for years. Vengeance, the act of punishing someone in return for harm. She swore vengeance after what he did. Karma, the belief that actions lead to fitting consequences. That's just karma catching up with him. Sacrifice, giving up something important for a greater purpose. She made a lot of sacrifices for her kids. Temptation, a strong urge to do something, often unwise. He couldn't resist the temptation. Restraint, self-control in holding back from something. It took a lot of restraint not to yell. Self-control, the ability to control your own behavior. He's lost all self-control lately. Willpower, mental strength to resist temptation. It takes real willpower to quit like that. Discipline, controlled behavior following rules or training. Success like that takes serious discipline. Routine, a regular fixed way of doing things. His whole routine changed after the divorce. Habit, a repeated behavior, often automatic. Biting your nails is a hard habit to break. Routine, a set sequence of actions regularly followed. She stuck to her routine no matter what. Lifestyle, a way of living. That kind of lifestyle isn't for everyone. Standard, a level of quality expected. He holds himself to a high standard. Expectation, something anticipated as likely or required. Living up to expectations isn't easy. Image, the impression someone gives to others. He works hard to maintain that image. Facade, a false outward appearance. Behind that happy facade, she was struggling. Mask, a false front hiding true feelings, figurative. He wears a mask so no one sees him hurting. Disguise, something used to hide your true identity or feelings. Her confidence was just a disguise. Illusion, a false idea or belief. Their perfect marriage was just an illusion. Fantasy, an imagined, often unrealistic scenario. He's living in some kind of fantasy. Denial, refusal to accept the truth. She's still in denial about the diagnosis. Escape, a way of avoiding a difficult reality. Work became his escape from everything. Distraction, something that takes your attention away from something else. She used work as a distraction from grief. Comfort, a state of ease or relief from distress. He found comfort in her words. Support, help or encouragement given to someone. She's had a lot of support from her friends. Encouragement, words or actions that give someone confidence. He needed some encouragement to keep going. Motivation, a reason or drive to do something. She's lost all motivation since the layoff. Inspiration, something that motivates or encourages creativity. Her story is an inspiration to a lot of people. Potential, the ability to develop into something in the future. He never lived up to his potential. Talent, a natural skill or ability. She's got real talent. She just needs confidence. Gift, a natural ability, figurative or a present. He's got a gift for making people laugh. Passion, strong enthusiasm for something. Cooking has always been her passion. Hobby, an activity done for enjoyment and free time. Photography became more than just a hobby. Routine, repeated tasks done regularly. Their morning routine never changes. Habit, something done regularly, often without thinking. It's just a bad habit at this point. Tradition, a custom passed down through generations. That's been a family tradition forever. Custom, a usual practice within a group or culture. It's not really a custom in our family. Ritual, a set of actions performed regularly, often meaningfully. Coffee in the morning is her ritual. Ceremony, a formal event marking an occasion. The whole ceremony was beautiful. Celebration, an event marking a happy occasion. They threw a huge celebration for the anniversary. Anniversary, the date marking a significant past event. Today's their 10th wedding anniversary. Milestone, a significant point in development or progress. Turning 30 felt like a real milestone. Reunion. A gathering of people who haven't met in a while. The family reunion got a little awkward. Gathering. A group of people coming together. It was supposed to be a small gathering. Crowd. A large group of people. He hates being in big crowds. Audience. People watching or listening to something. The audience went completely silent. Spectator. Someone watching an event without participating. He was just a spectator to the whole disaster. Bystander. Someone present at an event but not involved. Nobody wants to be a bystander to that kind of thing. Stranger. A person you don't know. She confided in a complete stranger. Acquaintance. Someone you know slightly, not a close friend. He's more of an acquaintance than a friend. Companion. Someone who accompanies another person. She's been his companion through everything. Confidant. Someone you trust with private matters. He's always been her confidant. Mentor. Someone who guides or advises a less experienced person. She's been a mentor to him for years. Role model. Someone whose behavior is worth imitating. His father was always his role model. Influence. The power to affect someone's decisions or behavior. She's a bad influence on him. Impact. A strong effect on someone or something. That conversation had a huge impact on her. Effect. A change caused by something. The stress had a real effect on his health. Outcome. The result of a situation or action. Nobody expected that outcome. Result. Something that happens because of an action. The result of the test came back positive. Consequence. Something that happens as a result of an action. He didn't think about the consequences. Aftermath. The situation that follows a difficult event. The aftermath of the fire was devastating. Fallout. The negative results that follow an event. The fallout from the scandal was brutal. Wreckage. What remains after destruction? They were left picking up the wreckage of their marriage. Chaos. Complete disorder and confusion. The whole house was chaos after the news. Mess. A state of disorder or difficulty. He made a real mess of things. Disaster. An event causing great damage or distress. The whole dinner turned into a disaster. Catastrophe. An extremely severe, often sudden disaster. Losing the house was a total catastrophe. Tragedy. A very sad event, often involving death or loss. The whole town mourned the tragedy. Loss. The state of no longer having someone or something. She's still grieving the loss of her father. Void. An empty space, especially emotional. His death left a void nobody could fill. Absence. The state of being away or missing. His absence was felt by everyone. Presence. The state of being somewhere, or a strong personal quality. She has such a calming presence. Bond. A close connection between people. They share a bond that's hard to explain. Connection. A link or relationship between people. I felt an instant connection with her. Chemistry. A strong emotional or physical connection between people. They had incredible chemistry from the start. Attraction. A feeling of being drawn to someone or something. There was clear attraction between them. Spark. A sudden feeling of romantic interest. She felt a spark the moment they met. Crush. A strong but often short-term romantic attraction. He's had a crush on her for years. Infatuation. An intense but often short-lived passion for someone. It was infatuation, not real love. Obsession. An all-consuming preoccupation with something or someone. His obsession with her got out of control. Devotion. Strong love and loyalty. Her devotion to the family never wavered. Affection. A gentle feeling of fondness or love. He's not great at showing affection. Intimacy. Closeness in a relationship, emotional or physical. They've lost the intimacy they used to have. Vulnerability. Openness to being emotionally hurt. Real intimacy requires vulnerability. Distance. Emotional or physical separation. There's been so much distance between them lately. Gap. A space or difference between two things. There's a huge gap between what they want. Difference. A way in which people or things are unlike each other. Their differences finally caught up with them. Similarity. A way in which people or things are alike. Their similarities are what drew them together. Contrast. A noticeable difference between things. The contrast between them is obvious. Balance, and even distribution or emotional stability. She's trying to find a better balance in her life. Stability, the state of being steady and unlikely to change suddenly. He just wants some stability for once. Consistency, the quality of staying the same over time. Their relationship lacked consistency. Routine, a fixed, regular way of doing things. Kids need routine, especially now. Structure, an organized system or framework. Losing his job took away all his structure. Foundation, a base that everything else is built on. Trust is the foundation of any relationship. Framework, a basic structure underlying a system. They never built a real framework for communication. Boundary, a limit set to protect yourself. He crossed a major boundary that night. Limit, the furthest point something can go. She's reached her limit with his excuses. Threshold, the point at which something begins to happen. He's reached his breaking threshold. Breaking point, the point at which someone can no longer cope. She hit her breaking point last week. Limit, a boundary that shouldn't be crossed. There's a limit to what she'll put up with. Line, a point that shouldn't be crossed. Figurative, he crossed a line he can't take back. Standard, a required or expected level. He never meets her standards. Bar, a standard or level expected. Figurative, she sets the bar pretty high. Pressure, stress caused by demands or expectations. The pressure to succeed is intense in that family. Stakes, what could be gained or lost. The stakes have never been higher. Risk, the possibility of something bad happening. He's not willing to take that risk. Gamble, an action involving risk and uncertainty. Moving here was a huge gamble. Bet, a wager or a risky decision. Figurative, marrying him was a bet that paid off. Odds, the likelihood of something happening. The odds were never in their favor. Chance, an opportunity or the possibility of something happening. This is her last chance to make it right. Luck, success or failure caused by chance. They've had nothing but bad luck lately. Fate, a power believed to control events beyond human control. She believes they were brought together by fate. Destiny, the events that will inevitably happen to someone. He believes this is his destiny. Circumstance, a fact or condition connected to an event. Given the circumstances, she handled it well. Situation, the set of conditions at a particular time. This is a really difficult situation. Predicament, a difficult, embarrassing, or unpleasant situation. He's put himself in quite a predicament. Scenario, a possible sequence of events. Let's think through a worst-case scenario. Possibility, a chance that something might happen. There's still a possibility he'll change his mind. Probability, the likelihood of something happening. The probability of that is pretty low. Certainty, something that is definitely true. There's no certainty he'll show up. Doubt, a feeling of uncertainty. She's had doubts about him from the start. Hesitation, a pause caused by uncertainty. There was hesitation in his voice. Uncertainty, a lack of clear knowledge about something. He can't stand the uncertainty of it all. Clarity, the quality of being clear and easy to understand. She needed some clarity before making a decision. Insight, a clear understanding of something complex. That conversation gave her real insight into his behavior. Awareness, knowledge or perception of a situation. His awareness of the problem came too late. Realization, the moment of understanding something clearly. It was a painful realization for her. Epiphany, a sudden, powerful realization. He had an epiphany in the middle of the night. Wake-up call, an event that forces someone to face reality. That accident was a real wake-up call for him. Red flag, a warning sign of a problem? Looking back, there were so many red flags. Warning sign, an indication that something bad may happen. She ignored every warning sign. Second chance, another opportunity after failure. He's begging for a second chance, fresh start. A new beginning, free from past problems. She moved to start a fresh start. New beginning. The start of a new phase in life. This move is a new beginning for both of us. Comeback. A return to success after failure or absence. Everyone's talking about her incredible comeback.